Hey there and howdy. It is Retro Repair Roundup. Episode whatever this is, 29 or something. My brain is sorry. I apologize. I was in the middle of doing something administrative in the background in this. Oh, we're live. So, okay. Welcome everybody to the show. My name is Joe Strohsayer. We got Javier Rivera. We got Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. Trina cannot make it tonight for reasons, probably related to reasons. And our guest tonight is Ryan Hayward of Everything is Broken Garage, or EBG Retro Tech, as he is talking about in his cool logo in the upper right corner. Everybody say hello to everybody else. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Thanks for stopping by tonight, everyone. Remember to lasso that like button and spur that subscribe button and other random Western United States from the 1850s kinds of terminology. Yeah. So tonight we're going to play around with the format a little bit tonight. We're going to see if we can do something a little bit different, but we'll roll with it. Ron, do you want to get us started? Because I need to click some buttons while you talk.
Yeah, certainly. Hey, everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Computer Videos, as Joe just said. Probably, I guess the big thing to talk about, the big news that's going on right now in the Macintosh community here in the month of March is Marcintosh. Hashtag Marcintosh. You can get more information about how you can participate in the event over at marcintosh.com. But basically, it comes down to this. If you are a fan of classic Macintoshes, which basically everything from the Macintosh 128 all the way up through the Intel era, like kind of twilights when M1, M2, and all that type of stuff came out. But basically, make a video, make a blog post, write a poem, do some art, make something neat that sort of reaches out to other Macintosh enthusiasts about fun things that you're excited about. So do a Twitch stream where you go through and clean the floppy drive on your machine, or maybe just take some photos where it was like, oh yeah, my kids like had a great time playing Grandma and Me or something like that on my Mac 128, or not Mac 128, but like my Mac 2 or something. But anyway, it's there's lots of cool ways to participate. You can head over to marcintosh.com for more information, and the event runs. It's currently running. It started March 1st, runs all the way up through the end of the month, and culminates with April Fool's Day on April 1st. And I hope to see the cool things you have in mind.
Do it. Hashtag it. Make it happen.
Yeah,
do it.
Just do it. It'll be fun.
Cool beans. So, like I said, we're going to play around with the format a little bit tonight. And one of the first things I thought we would change around with is, let's talk about some new retro news. Does anybody have any really cool new retro thing that's been going on in the world that they want everybody to know about that people might not know about? A news item, a gadget, a toy, some sort of project. Javier has something he wants to talk about.
Yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about, but one of the things that I want to set a reminder is, please, if you can help on the, what is it? No, it's not a Patreon. It's GoFundMe.
It's a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yes. For the Tony Diaz recuperation, or whatever we want to call it. We're going to go, well, the Kansas Fest guys are going to go and try to recover as much as possible. So aside from the big controversy, please, if you can help, because this is to help the community. This is nothing to do with controversies or anything like that. We just want to be able to get everything that we can from that great place and great collection, and just get it back to the community. So, and if the rare items to get into museums or places that people can still get access and not just get behind in a closet or personal collection of somebody. So that's the goal. So if you can, please help. That's kind of my main thing.
Yep.
If possible.
Background on the Tony Diaz GoFundMe. Tony Diaz was a very prominent member of the Apple II retro community for many years. He had an amazing collection of one-of-a-kind items, prototypes,
literal
example.
one-of-a-kind items. Literal.
Yeah,
We're not talking about 5 or 10s. These are like single engineering items like out of Cupertino. Like they're very special stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very amazing things. And when Tony passed away, a lot of those items are just kind of holed up, and the effort is about trying to get those items into museums and get them back into, because some of the items were just on loan, so get those back to the original collectors. So much in the same way that people kind of came together and went to Computer Reset and help that family sort of like sort through things and figure things out so that they could get on kind of with their lives. That's very much what this effort is too. So any dollar amount that you can donate is money that helps move those items into kind of the hands of people that are going to protect those things. So this is really, like I've said on social media, this is really where the rubber meets the road in terms of like the conservation side of this hobby. So if you want to see these things be available where people can go and experience them in the future, now's your time to make a donation.
Contribute,
and it also brings up another conversation, which is about make sure that your loved ones know what you would like to happen to your collection if something were to happen to you. So that way that you don't have to create this burden on your family of how do I respect this person's memory, but make sure that these items aren't just like yard saled or something like that. So anyway, do what you can today. Click the link. Again, any dollar amount that you can donate is money that keeps these machines kind of in the community and protects them for future generations. Thank you.
Right. I couldn't say it better. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Ron, we appreciate your face hole.
Yeah, that's right. It's well, I feel strongly about it. I know there's been a lot of people talking about it online. People are doing their best. I know that, and the people that are running the GoFundMe as well are prominent members of the Apple II community, people that are on the Kansas Fest board. So I mean, definitely, I mean, this is all above board. And the idea is that rather, because I know in the past, Sean Fahey and other people went out there and tried to kind of help Tony kind of go through things and get things organized. But I think they were there like a week and got through 1/4 of one room in terms of organization. So I think the plan now is to try to get things out of there so that way the family can kind of move on and then organize things later. And a lot of those things are going to end up sort of in computer museums, and they'll be at K-Fest and stuff like that. So do what you can so that we can make this happen.
Yep.
Absolutely. Cool. I have a quick news item. It actually ties back into Martintosh. Found out yesterday that Adafruit Industries, everybody knows Adafruit and Lady Ada and the awesome hacker maker stuff they do. They're celebrating Martintosh this year. And posting it all over social media. So you're gonna make it after all.
Yeah, year 3. It just took till year 3 for us to crack it.
So I thought that was really cool. So yeah,
it is really cool.
Cool beans. So, anybody have any other cool news items they want to talk about? Or if there's anybody in the chat who has something cool that they would like us to discuss, go ahead and pop that in the chat, and we will we'll come back around to it. So, let's talk about our wonderful guest, Ryan Hayward of Everything Broken Garage. Hi, Ryan. Yeah, you. I'm saying your name right, am I?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I've had this bad habit of saying his name.
Sorry.
Rayon.
Say
hi to everybody, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody like everything about you?
Okay. Hi. I'm new to the retro tech collecting community, I guess. I started during COVID. Like many people, I was locked in a bedroom with access to a credit card and the internet. Yeah. And there's only so much things you can watch on the internet before you find something you like. Mm-hmm. I'll leave that there. But after watching many hours of LGR and 8-Bit Guy and a few of the other big retro tech YouTubers, I realized how terrible I had been in my last nearly 20 years of IT work of throwing everything out. So I put the brakes on that And boy, did that ship stop fast. Now this room is full of garbage. I mean, retro tech. So yeah, that's where I've been. So for me, it's been kind of an interesting experience because I'm in IT. I own or part owner of a consulting or part owner of a consulting firm that does IT. I work at a school where I teach computer science and IT, and I also take care of all the IT at the school. And then on top of that, I also volunteer and do a bunch of side work with different charities in the my general area. So I've had access to a lot of old crappy computers over the years, and I kept a few things. I kept a Mac Portable because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Where you're going to see one of those? Exactly. And yeah, but other than that, I usually threw everything out. Like a couple of months, probably was it a month or two ago? I sat down and really thought about what I had thrown out before COVID because we had just done a big purge before COVID, and I had thrown out some G4 towers and some iBooks and things that are kind of cool now that I wish I'd saved. But anyway, I'm trying to change my ways. That's what I've become a convert. I've become a hoarder. I have one room in my house that I'm allowed to fill with stuff, and it's this room here. It's the retro room, which is also my office. So it keeps me busy. I also have a large part of my collection is actually back at the school where I work. Part of our computer science program is the kids have to learn the history of computers. So instead of playing with emulators and talking about the history of computers, I was just like, here's an Apple II, figure out how to work with BASIC. Or, here's an early Windows 95 compact 486. Figure out IRQ errors. Why is the graphics card not working properly, or why is the sound card not working properly? So they can kind of see because kids today are all like, oh, it's instant, everything works, plug and play is a thing. But back in my day, we had to work for all that.
Get off my lawn!
Exactly. So, it's cool, and to see the kids get interested in it and find some neat things. We play a lot of Oregon Trail because they all seem to know, even though they probably never played it before. They kind of all knew what it was. And I guess because it's such a popular title in the world outside of just the retro tech sphere. So of course, everybody in my class had to die of dysentery. That was just
right. Here lies cheese and pepperoni. Right.
Exactly. Right. So anyway, and that leads me to where I am now, which is I'm currently working on a couple of Marcintosh things. We're hoping to get my class to do a recap on an LC2. We bought all the equipment to do it. Unfortunately, Console 5 is currently out of the caps. They're back orders.
Yes.
So hopefully that'll be rectified before the end of March, so we can actually do our Marcintosh thing in March. But that's the plan. And yeah, so if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can kind of get an idea of some of the things I have in my room. There's a lot of projects that will never get finished. I also don't like selling things. I know it seems weird. People like to sell stuff. I like giving stuff away. I like trading. For me, it's mostly about the hunt. Once I get the thing, I usually like, oh, this is cool. And if it's really cool, I'll put it on a shelf and look at it. If it's something that, I get tired with, I usually will pay it forward and give it to somebody else. Yeah, so.
Cool.
Who wants a 386? I've got lots of them.
I have a statement and a question.
Okay.
Statement number one: can we start you a GoFundMe to get you some shelving?
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually moving out of this room and moving into the basement. And I actually have the entire. So when the school that I work at got rid of their computer lab, it was your quintessential 1980s computer lab. So you can envision that in your mind of what the benches and the workbenches and stuff looked like. So I have all that. So my plan is to rip all that down and make a small 1980s style lab in my room, which has shelves and storage. Cool. So thank you.
My second question is your favorite color pink?
It's not. It just happens to be that where the room is painted brown, RGB in white form shows up as purple and pink.
There you go.
And I figured, when I'm not doing this, I'm also an e-girl. So kind of worked out all right.
Nice.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That worked.
So I want to talk a little bit about your name. Everything is Broken Garage. I mean, if anybody hasn't seen your channel, they may not know what that's about. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, we're an automotive channel. We have nothing to do with retro tech for the most part. There's a couple of computery things we've done on our channel. We do a lot of tuning on Volkswagens and Audis and a few Porsches and that kind of stuff. So yeah, when I'm not doing IT and I'm not doing other retro tech things, I'm in the garage.
70s Volkswagen is retro tech, baby. I love it.
Fair enough, right? Actually, there should be, I think if you go far enough back on my Twitter or Facebook or one of those, there's actually a picture of me with my Apple Classic with a cable running to the back of my Volkswagen bus, trying to run a diagnostic, sort of a joke.
That's cool. I love
great
it.
looking picture.
OBS, OBD,
yeah.
OBD, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we do a lot of, most of it's car stuff. I've kind of started branching out and doing a bit of retro tech. My cohort on our channel now lives about 12 hours away from me. So he tends to do some content and ship in the hard drive to me. I do the editing, and then I'll post it on YouTube. And then I also do some shorts and some other things that end up on our YouTube and Instagram pages. But yeah, it keeps you busy. I love cars. I've always had a fascination with cars, and I think that ties. It's funny, actually, the number of people I've talked to who are into cars are also into tech and retro tech.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's a real symmetry there, or at least some sort of symbiosis that occurs sometimes with people. I don't know if anybody watches, like, Watch JR Go. He's an automotive YouTuber. He's in the Kansas area. He's in IT. So like some of the stuff he talks about, I'm like, oh yeah, I do that in my daily IT stuff. So it's kind of cool to see other IT people doing not IT things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so yeah, it's and actually he had a video recently where he worked on an Apple II, which I thought was kind of funny. Weird how the world works and how certain hobbies and interests kind of intertwine. But like, for example, I have a 1990 Ford Ranger that I have to recap the ECU in it. The ECU caps are completely shot. I'm like, well, this is like the marrying of two perfectly good hobbies.
And more and more these days they're overlapping because of all of the electronics in the cars. You have to, old school mechanics have to learn electronics in order to diagnose and fix things. So, yeah.
And, automotive, it would seem, didn't fare the same as computers from the 2000s. The cat plague hit them just as bad as it hit, computers. So, there are some people that sell cars and they say, oh, it doesn't work, or it needs a new ECU. It doesn't need a new ECU. It just needs a recap, right? Which is, again, kind of funny. It's not. So a whole other business for you, Joe.
What's
ECU
that?
recapping. I said a whole other business.
Oh,
for you.
yeah. Oh, my God, no. No, not in this town. Oh, I don't want to deal with that in this town. Oh, God, no.
Well, that's like we do a lot of work with Volkswagen guys. We love Volkswagens. It truly is Hitler's revenge. And Volkswagen owners tend to be very cheap and frugal. So when you're repairing Volkswagens, people tend to be cheap and frugal. You see some really ingenious fixes for things that you're just like, oh, that's okay.
But that's the beauty of the Volkswagen. I used to have a Beetle when I was a kid, and those things, you can take a rubber, a rubber thing and just fix something with that.
Yeah, like a new belt or now the new stuff. Like I have some very new Volkswagens, a 2010 Touareg, which is diesel. That's stupid complicated.
Yes.
Like I take the engine cover off it and I just stare at it and go, I don't know. Google, YouTube, quick help.
But like a Beetle, you can take the engine out by taking off the bumper, jacking it up, taking out 4 bolts, and it comes out.
Yep.
And you can do it like, if you're really good at it and used to it, you can do it in like 5 minutes. Like it's not hard.
Just yank it out by the exhaust pipes. Just like, come here.
And and you look at where those machines were still being made up until 2005 and 2010 for the buses in Mexico and Brazil.
Yep.
Like Latin America's still full of relatively new, we'll say, old air-cooled Volkswagen. Actually, they're water-cooled, but they're
water-cooled. Well,
Argentina is also full of old Volkswagen employees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God, no.
Oh, just freeze over that. We will not talk about the law.
Don't bring up the war.
Oh God.
Okay.
This map looks. This is not a map of England. This is a map of Berlin. Classic Monty Python.
I actually had a Jetta that was made in Germany.
Okay.
Normally the Jettas here in the US are from Mexico.
Yep.
But I had one that was from Germany too.
A fun little tip for everybody listening or watching: if your Volkswagen's VIN number starts with WVW, it was made in Germany. If it starts with 3VW or 2VW, it was either made in Mexico or Brazil.
Or Brazil.
Or 9VW, sorry, is Brazil.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome sauce.
What do we have in
been
the chat?
educated.
Chile too, yeah.
We got lots of people in the chat. Retro Techie, Thomas Armstrong, Jeremy's Vintage Chili Shack, Eric's Edge, Jamie's Hack Shack, 50 Shades of Beige from Down Under.
Yep.
Garth is here. We got Francois, DJ Craze, and a whole bunch of other people. I'm scrolling. Joe Williams is here. Eric Rangel. I never pronounce your name right. I apologize. Mac Effects, Scarlet Four-Eyed Cuda, and sure, a whole bunch of other people. So thanks for stopping by everywhere tonight. So let's Ron, take over. My brain stopped.
Okay. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but
I don't know.
So I don't know. We talked about or we were bringing up some other topics and things like that. We were talking with Ryan, maybe about like what his day job is, which is largely as a mechanic, right?
I can barely hear you, Ron. You're very quiet. You're very soft spoken.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me. Is this better? Can you hear
now
me
it's
now?
like Ron ASMR.
Yeah.
You have a net.
ASM Ron. Got it. No, I was just going to ask you, kind of working in education and things like that. It is always kind of a challenge because there are so many cool things that kind of breeze through there, and a lot of it is, oh, sorry, this has got to go to e-cycle or whatever. So, but you said you've been trying to save more items than you were in the past, but maybe can you tell us a little bit about your organization's e-cycle operation and kind of the things that do make it out the door now? I'm sure that there's a lot of those off-lease Dell super generic PCs that are headed out the door these days.
We're an Apple house for the most part.
That's great.
Kids are Chromebook. Teachers are for the most part either Chromebook or Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Computers now are an appliance. They're good for 3 years, and then you get rid of them.
Right.
That's, as much as I like the Chromebook, and people will always like, Chromebooks are terrible. From an administrative perspective, they are beautiful. It is a lovely walled garden, and I do enjoy living in it.
Yeah.
However, I understand that it's only going to create more and more e-waste over the course of the next 10, 20 years. So right now it's BYOD at our school. So it's bring your own device. The kids can bring whatever they want. We have so many Chromebook sets for the classes, and certain classrooms have their own sets of Chromebooks. At some point I'd like to see us move to a one-to-one. It just makes the whole ecosystem a lot easier to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But from a teacher perspective, we're currently running, older MacBook Airs. Those will probably be retiring soon. And traditionally, I try to clean them up. And most of the time, the teachers will buy them if they want them for their home. But some stuff does end up in the recycling. But we have a fairly decent recycling system here in Newfoundland when it comes to dropping stuff off. The big problem is we live on an island, so our recycling is not carbon neutral. Everything has to get shipped off the island. It's a big ocean.
Just whatever. Just throw it in.
All right. Make the battery into the ocean.
Make it Neptune's problem.
Yeah. No, we're gonna throw it outside the environment.
Yeah.
The only thing out there is water and fish and birds and a pile of laptops.
Like the Wongs on Mars. Big empty planet. Throw trash anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so for us, there is no such thing as carbon neutral recycling. It all requires big diesel ships to get it off the island. So you take that with a grain of salt. So you try to keep stuff longer to make it more justified.
Yeah,
sure.
So you're not throwing it out. But for example, Retro Techie, I think, is getting a few MacBook Minis from me that were slated to be recycled. So, again, the Chromebooks are going to be the worst part because I know the kids are just going to break them, and then I'm going to have to fix them, which I'm fine with. But then, after 3 years, they're in the garbage or they're into the recycling, and there's not really much you can do. The one nice thing is Google did come out and say, hey, we're going to extend the life of Chromebooks by 8 years. So now every Chromebook sold after 2020 is guaranteed to work for 8 years with software updates. That's not terrible. But at the same time, they're appliances now. They're no different than a blender. So,
yeah.
My
son's school has a 1-to-1 with Chromebooks and things like that, and he really loves it. It's just very simple. And the other day, I don't use Chromebooks like minute to minute at work or anything like that. But the other night, I did have a friend of mine who I do election stuff with. Reached out to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I can't get my printers working and things like that." So I was like, "Okay." So I went over there, and yeah, she owns an Asus branded Chromebook, and I was like, "Wow, this was way less painless than I thought it was going to be." I mean, it was very quick to configure and set up, and it's basically Chrome. She's like, "Hey, do I need like an antivirus program on here?" I said, "No." No. I said, you need ad blocker in your browser, probably. And then we're going to uninstall Honey and all these other little shopping app things. Yep. And I said, just every so often, this is how you go in and check and make sure. She's like, oh, gosh. And I showed her the ad block thing. And she was like, wow, that's amazing. And I was like, yeah. I said, hopefully it'll keep you safe.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really impressed with just how.
Yeah, like as a consumption device, they're fantastic. Production device, they're not terrible either. But they're definitely geared towards, I think they're more functional than an iPad, but the same level of walled garden that an iPad offers an educational system.
Sure.
Josh Malone says, I thought printing on Chromebooks was a hot mess. Not true.
Nope.
I actually have a story.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It used to be. It used to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
However, this does depend on the printer.
Yes.
There are certain corporate environments with printers that have accounting, and the IPP-based printer drivers don't support accounting codes.
Yeah, you're probably going to have issues with trying to print to your like multifunction device down the street, or down the hallway.
Our Xerox is at the school. Yeah. Perfect, but they're brand new. We bought them last year.
Right.
So Xerox even made sure, like on the box, that when the big machine came, it's a massive photocopier. It lists all the compatibilities, and one of them listed was Chromebook, which I thought was kind of cool because they're clearly realizing that's a market that they're going to need to be able to be supportive of. Yeah. So, the inking is also really nice if you're big into inking. You want to use a stylus and stuff. I found that's gotten so much better in the last couple of years, especially for the 2-in-1s where you can fold the screen around and write on it with a pen. Works really well.
Very cool.
Which the teachers who have been testing Chromebooks, we have been giving some teachers Chromebooks instead of Macs, and they've liked them. They seem to like that functionality. So
nice.
Will a Chromebook ever be retro tech and collectible?
No. Maybe.
I mean, I have 2 of the original Chromebooks. But beyond that, I don't think they're going to be collectible.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, that the question becomes how unlockable are they to put your own software on them? Yeah. I'm not trying.
I mean, they're pretty good. You can put them into sort of like dev mode and flash your own OS and stuff to them. You can get full running Linux now on it. So they've done a lot better with that, and it's a lot easier than it used to be. But it's still for the higher level tech. It's not like kids going to decide tomorrow, I'm going to put Linux on my Chromebook.
Yeah, no.
Cool. Yes, Linux on my Chromebook.
Linux.
Not Linux. Linux, huh?
Yes. So, Mr. Ryan, I am very curious. What cool project are you working on for Marcintosh, if any?
Well, we're hopefully do that LC2 recap.
Mm-hmm.
Again, barring that, I've been waiting for Console 5 to get their stock back up. But hold on, which way am I pointing? These 2 Macs also need to be recapped.
Yeah.
There's an SE30 and a Classic. Both of those require recapping. The Classic does a weird thing. Maybe you guys know. After it's been on for so long, it just gives me garbage on the screen, and then I have to turn it off, and I turn it back on, and it's fine.
RAM,
a random 32-bit application screwing up the 24-bit. That's a 32-bit clean machine, though. So,
yep.
It seems that when it gets hot, it seems to be more prone to it. So, I just assumed it needed to be recapped because they all do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It hasn't been done.
And
sometimes when it boots, you have to give the little on the side to get the hard drive to start playing nicely.
Nice.
We have solutions for that, sir.
Yeah. I was going to say on a Classic, don't forget that like those caps and everything leak right into the sound chip, right into the egret, and you have all kinds of weird problems. And you leave it on for a while, something bridges, and then nothing works. So
shorts it out or whatever, and it's gone. And I haven't turned on the SE30 because apparently it was doing strange things as well, and I feel like it's Schrodinger's Mac. It's working and not working. As long as I don't turn it on, it's fine.
That sounds right.
So, and I also have I just got the other day from another school who was also throwing out a pile of stuff. I got the LC2, but then I also picked up a 128, but it's the upgraded one. It's a 1 meg. It's a 1 meg 128.
So it's to a plus, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and it's in pretty rough shape. Looks like it was abused and put away wet, but it doesn't turn on. But I did take the battery out of it, so it wasn't leaking though.
One of these.
I have lots of projects. Yeah, exactly.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Is that a regular 2 AAA?
It is a number 523 4.5 volts.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So that and other than that, we have a couple of there's a G3 iMac at my school as well that I've been working on, and there's also the Lamp Mac, but I don't really want to show a lot of the Lamp Mac because I don't make Eric feel bad because mine works flawlessly, and I feel bad if I put videos or post pictures of it.
Poor Eric.
It's sad.
Poor Eric, and he by means of Tom Barber got me 3 from the last VCF Midwest or something, and 2 of the 3 work. They work fine. Turn them on. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah, there was somebody. I can't remember who I gave it to, but it was like when Steve and Tom and Eric all came to my town. I gave away like a G4 iMac. I don't know who I gave it to, but it worked when I took it apart. So
it wouldn't make me feel bad.
Poor Eric.
Now I'm wishing I had the. Eric, if I can find some way to get it to you, buddy, we can figure that out. Absolutely, no problem.
But coming up, like in the future, we. So I actually didn't tell this story, but I'll tell it quickly. This past summer, about 4 hours from where we are in St. John's in Newfoundland, we went to visit a guy who was an auction hoarder. A nice fella. He bought a lot of auction items in the early 90s and late 80s. Yeah. One of the things he bought was a complete pile of old computers from 2 of the local universities / like community colleges. And so he had kept them in a bus. So these had never moved since 1990. And they were all 386 and 8080 and 8086 and AT clones and a couple of IBMs. And anyway, so we took them all. There was 60 odd of them. I think I had mentioned that. But the same guy now also owns a school that's in the same community. And the only thing that we had, and he said there's more, so we're going back out in the spring sometime, which for Newfoundland is like July. There was nothing Apple. We scoured the place because that was what I was looking for. I was like, I want to get some Apple IIs. There has to be some Apple IIs here. I know they existed in schools. They got to be around here. And when Buddy said that there were schools, I said, okay, perfect. There's got to be Apple. The only thing we found, which you can kind of see if you look over my this side, you'll see right there there's a Duo disc. That's the only thing we found in the bus that was Apple. So that leads me to believe that the other two buildings, which apparently are also full of computers, are Apple.
Cool.
So fingers crossed. We're going back in, hopefully, like I said, June or July for the big, hopefully Apple Roundup.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's my favorite part. I love the hunt. I love finding things. Repairing them and getting them working again is also good, but it's not the same high as, oh my God, look at this. How cool is this? This has not been turned into a Kia or a new toaster, right? So that's what excites me. And my local newspaper did a story on me and our retro group a couple of months ago, and the amount of stuff that came out of the woodwork, where people contacted me going, "Hey, I have a box of Commodore 64s," and so Commodore 64s now are like tribbles. Every other week, more of them show up.
Yeah.
So good for Commodore 64s.
Of all the stuff you've picked lately, you've picked up, what would you say is your favorite thing, or your best thing, or your coolest thing, or however you want to classify that?
Coolest thing. That's a good question. I mean, I like all the Apple stuff, and I like the Commodore stuff, but I like the really weird stuff, like those Xerox. I don't know over their way. The Xerox CPM machines. That's pretty cool. My Osborne Executive. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the Hyperion. I just like them because of the history. I like things that failed because they were never meant to be kept. Once the company failed, it was like, oh, this is garbage now. It's not worth anything. So that's kind of cool. But I'd say my favorite thing I picked up recently. I'm guessing. Actually, I don't know exactly what it is. It's what I was working on the last stream we did. It's my 5150 that was covered in diesel oil and left inside the cement truck.
Oh my God!
I think that's my favorite.
Hey, at least it didn't have any rust, right? Maybe, hopefully. Maybe the diesel oil protected it. Oh God, no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh God!
Oh wow!
Fail.
No.
Oh, sounds good.
You see, and Bob Darlington points out something very, very important. This is a problem we never had in the past.
I started my audio went.
His audio disappeared because his wife started the car and his Bluetooth switched to the car.
That happens to me all the time.
Hi, Rudy.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, those dries.
Hey, Rudy.
I don't think there's any hope for these. I'm going to try to fix them, but I think these are beyond fixing.
Yeah.
Belt's still good though.
Maybe for parts, yeah.
Well, the working belt should make Techmoan very happy. Did you watch his latest video where he took apart that sort of like it was a National branded like Walkman from like the late 70s. Obviously the belts had perished, as he will say. But he took the whole thing apart and there was a lot of desoldering. So he was like, "Hey, I'm just warning you right now. This part of the video doesn't go anywhere. And it's very frustrating. So you might just skip. If you're watching it and you find yourself getting annoyed, skip to this part." And so he just he took the whole damn thing apart, documented everything, and then he got to a point where he's like, well, there's no way to put the belts in because it's like there's so much stuff that's been like they just built it up and there was never an expectation that anybody would have to repair it. Right. So they were just like, it was just funny. But anyway,
it's early designed obsolescence, I guess. Mass production breeds designed obsolescence. I hosted on Mastodon there last week. I was working on a part on my Touareg that was two circuit boards inside a valve that were connected by naked pieces of just steel wire. There was no need. It was 100% made like that so that it would fail, and it was $1,200. The part was
nice.
So there was no reason. Like Siemens, who made the part, they made it so that it would fail. There's no other explanation as to why they would have done it the way they did it. So of course I just cut all the wires off and put in little bits of Cat 5. Perfect. Yeah, works fine. Right. designed obsolescence. It's
Yeah.
unfortunately we think it's bad now having to recap stuff. I can only imagine this retro tech hobby is going to be like in 25 years.
Oh yeah.
When you're trying to fix a M1 Mac where everything is soldered to the board.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
You got your hot air gun.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to emulate it with something new at that time, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
And there'll be like a few scattered, working systems in museums, maybe.
Yeah.
But such is life. It's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Nobody in 20 years will be excited about a classic Kia Optima. Same thing.
Somebody will. Somebody will.
Right. That was my first car back in 2021.
Yeah. Back when I was a kid in 2021.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'll be old. I already am old. But yeah. I also had a thing recently with a lot of buying a lot of new mice in box, like vintage mice, but in box. They just seem to find me. And of course, I haven't been able to turn them down. So I have a strange collection of Logitech and Microsoft mice now that are new in box, but old. So that's been kind of fun. I enjoy that. I like peripherals. They're easy to display, and like Logitech in the late 80s, early 90s was totally on the point when it came to their like branding on their boxes. Like, hold on, I'm gonna just get a TrackMan. Hold on.
Yeah.
TrackMan.
I remember that.
Yep.
Pepsi Man. Oh wait, that's a different thing. Sorry.
Like, look how nice that is. And it's so late 80s, early 90s.
Look at that old Logitech logo, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
that's great.
Right? Like, and they had to explain how a mouse worked because people were buying this never having used a mouse before.
Right.
That's so cool.
All the neighbors have one. I've got to get one too.
Right. And the manual in it is like, remember, this is a mouse.
Yep.
That's the manual.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All right, so
that's funny.
Now you think you just go buy a mouse at the store, it barely has any packaging because everybody knows how to use a mouse.
Buy a TV and it doesn't have any packaging or a manual. They're like, go online to we are no longer online because our company brand name is already defunct.com.
Right.
Scan this QR code.
Yeah,
that takes you to like a Chinese virus.
Yeah.
Our domain has been attacked or taken over by somebody else.
Right.
So we're at that point in the stream where we start to talk about stuff that we're working on, and we're going to start off with you, Ryan. What is your cool project you're working on right now? Maybe not necessarily a Marchintosh project, but some other cool thing that you're working on that you would like to share with people.
I'm currently about to start work on a very old, very cool 70s Volkswagen. It's a 1973 Volkswagen bus that hit a moose. We're naming it Bullwinkle. And
Bullwinkle. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, its whole front was smashed by a moose. So yeah, that's one of the cool projects I'm about to start, which is not computer related, obviously, but a cool project. My wife, she doesn't like all my Volkswagens, but this is one she's very excited about, so I kind of got to finish it because happy wife.
Yeah,
you get to keep your Volkswagens. It's a good system. Yeah, but on the computer perspective, I don't know, what am I doing? We have 2 science fiction conventions coming up in the next couple of months here in Newfoundland. We don't actually have a vintage computer. I mean, it'd be like 5 guys standing around staring at, I don't know, an whole IBM if we had our own convention. So we tag along with the science fiction convention. And so we get a room and we set it all up and whatnot. But we're actually giving away 3 Dell laptops that I recently acquired. They're all basically pristine. I don't think they were ever used. They're XP era. So we're loading them up with DOSBox and a bunch of DOS shareware to give away as a sort of a raffle to raise money for our local Ronald McDonald House charity. It's usually who we pick. So that's going to be kind of something we're working on over the next couple of weeks that isn't necessarily Apple related or Apple adjacent. So yeah. What about you, Javier? What are you working on?
Oh, good segue.
To our sponsor.
I was yesterday. I was doing some video of my new precious.
Oh, lovely.
This, CPC Amstrad CPC.
Mm-hmm.
It was sent to me by a friend from Spain, and works beautifully. And I just finished cleaning it up. So look, it's shiny. Oh yeah. So this is my new acquisition, and I just found out that tomorrow, fingers crossed, it's supposed to be in the post office. I'm gonna get my clear front case
Oh,
from
nice.
PCB Way. So I'm gonna be doing a special on that one. I'm excited, and I just can't hide
In
it.
case anybody doesn't know what this case is, what kind of clear case is it? What's it for? I know what it's for. Maybe the people watching don't know what it's for.
Ooh,
That's what it is for. This is a
Mhm.
floppy drive with a clear case from Mac Effects, and I poorly did not succeed in creating one because it's the force that it makes on the door. It's too much for the material that I use here, plexiglass,
Mm-hmm.
and it never worked well. It breaks all the time. So I sent it out to PCB Way, and they 3D printed it in what's the name of this material, Joe?
Like epoxy.
Yeah, epoxy. It's completely transparent, clear like this, and it's strong resin. Yeah.
nice.
Resin.
So the only thing is it's going to be a lot more money, a lot more costly than this, of course,
Oh,
but
sure.
it's not going to break. And I'm excited. I wanna test it, of course.
See, that looks like would be fantastic in a museum for kids to be able to see the gubbins and how stuff works.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we
Gubbins.
The
You
gubbins.
used
I
the
love
word gubbins. I love
The
it.
gubbins, the things.
Yep.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I
Gubbins.
love it. I love it. So that's where we are.
Awesome sauce.
To you guys, back to you guys.
Ron, what's going on in your world, buddy?
Oh, not a damn thing. Actually, what I've been working on is just doing things for March and Tosh, and this week I've actually got a couple of items that are coming in. One of the big things, our guest that we had last time sent me a big box of PowerBook 100 series machines. So I've got to go through all that. I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to do it as a live stream or if I'm just going to go through things. Probably do it as a live stream. It's like a lot less trouble, and then doing the rest. So we'll see how that goes. But that's really what I've been working on. Today, I went through and did a little bit of cleaning and moved some stuff around and got some things organized and realized that my Apple IIe card has some sort of problem. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. So I'm going to grab, I've got a second one at work. So I'm going to grab the one that I keep off site. I'm going to grab that and bring it home, and I'm going to test and see what's going on. And then if there is seemingly a problem with the card, I don't know. I'll have to maybe send it to Joe or something and have him give it a bath or something like that and just see what's going on. So, because it was in a LC3 that had not been recapped, so I don't know if like cap smoke came up and has affected something on the card. So we'll see.
Acid vapors. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ron,
Yeah.
I have a vision of you having this vault at work, similar to the opening of like Get Smart, where all these doors open, and then there's just like very fancy, expensive Apple cards just kind of lying inside the main vault.
There are some fun things there. It's probably closer to like the other day I was like, hey, I need to go get some stuff. I was like, get some stuff for who? And I said, top men. And it was very much like the end of Raiders, just pushing the cart back to file it all away.
And if you need Y cables, you can go to Joe's store and get the Y cables. Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Welcome to Retro Repair Roundup, where it's 45 minutes of us
JCM-1.com.
chatting and 15 minutes of me talking about my website.
plugging Joe's.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
That's Well, I mean, what are your specific plans for Marchintosh, Ron? Or do you want to kind of keep it under
one
your
thing that
hat?
I'm doing every day in Marchintosh is I'm making a short.
Mm.
So I'm going to
You're
make a
very
short
good.
a day. Yes, I'm going to make a short a day for the whole month. And I've had a couple that have gotten some traction so far. I did one today that was just sort of like, it's tangentially, it's an Apple related kind of thing, but I just remember like, you know, the Image Writer 2 kind of came out, you know, in right at the exact same time as kind of the Macs that I love the most. So the all that Snow White design language machine. So that's I'm absolutely I read a little section that there's a book that's called Bleep Printers. It's shitty printers. You can get it out on Amazon. It's a cute little hardback book, and I've had it just sitting around for quite a while, and it's I've read it, but it's just something you can pick up and just like flip to a random page and just there's something funny on it. So I read a little bit of that today. But no, I'm gonna go through and I'm doing like probably a short every day, and then I'm gonna try to get some other things queued up, some live streams and maybe like a gaming night or something like that.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
see how
gaming
things
night.
go.
We need to do a Marchintosh gaming night.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
play marathon or something like that, or play some other Macintosh games. So it'll be fun.
I can play Marathon without getting too nauseated, so let's do that.
All right.
The newer games, not so much.
Marathon Infinity. Do you play that one?
Mm-hmm.
I used to play that a lot.
Love that game.
Let's do it.
Is the requirement though that we play it on original Macs?
No, it's all.
Oh.
I mean, because the Delphi 1 or whatever the modern sort of engine for those, or Glypha 1 or whatever it is, you can just load up the files and stuff and play it. And there's modern matchmaking and all that type of stuff. We'll get Eric Helgeson to get us all set up.
Cool.
Because he's
Here's
pretty
Sean
good
in
with
the chat thanking everybody for the huge contributions to the KFest Rescue Project. Absolutely, Sean. We were talking about that at the beginning of the stream. Yes, again, make sure that you go to this link doodle right here that I'm putting in the chat and contribute to that. Yes,
Yep.
We're all very happy to do that, Sean. Everybody who's contributed, I'm sure, understands the importance of preserving those one-of-a-kind items. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, again, like I was saying, Sean was one of the people that was out there in the past and got like one quarter of one room done, and they were out there like a week. There's like a picture of Sean, and he has this look on his face, just like, oh my gosh, what did we bite off here?
And he will be there again. So, yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. God, my brain is just like resetting mid-conversation like
Well-
10 times today. I don't know what
Well,
it is.
while it comes back, I just gonna say that I just remember when you guys were talking about classrooms and Apple II.
Mhm.
There
Yeah.
was a thing in Twitter that somebody put a photo that says this is a classroom from the 80s, and it's a classroom from of Apple IIs, and actually it's a classroom that we set up at BCF East. That I actually did a
Yeah.
class over there, so that was
Yeah.
funny.
So they thought it was an old picture, but
Yes.
it's one you took last year.
So that was really funny.
Well, it was
That's
2010 or something, or when did they? Or
2022 last year.
Yeah. Okay. But
So, yeah.
somebody, it was really funny because they were like, "Oh yeah, like this is the class," and I was like, "Oh, that's East."
Yeah, and Mac 84. Yeah, he said immediately, no, that's the classroom, and yeah,
Mhm.
That's
That's
awesome.
funny. That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for me to talk about me,
yep.
and I'm awesome. And you need to recognize this. No, I'm kidding.
Oh gosh.
I've had like 10 people in the chat been requesting this one particular thing, so I got to play it. I got to get it out of the way. There you go. So that's out of the way. You can forget about that. But Joe's World, oh my gosh. I'm actually caught up on orders for once, so that's good. I only have 2 in the queue. And yeah, it's like I only have 2 in the queue, so I'm caught up on orders, but that's cool. And I wanted to get fully caught up on orders this weekend because here we are. It's March 5th, and I have done absolutely jack for Marcintosh other than kick people's blue scuzzies out so they can have something to play with in March. So my plan for Marcintosh hopefully this week, I might do a live stream of trying to get a G4 Mac to do an IDE to SATA thing because Ron said I couldn't do it. And
I didn't say you couldn't do it. I just said there's better ways to do it.
No, agreed. Yeah, like putting a SATA card in the machine. But Ron.
All right, hold on. We doing this again, Dad?
Yeah, but this is mad Ron.
Dude, that's like perfect. I'm pissed at you, Ron. That's like rusting Ron face.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I want to do at the very minimum for Marcintosh this year is to see if I can get that G4 to use a SATA hard drive through an adapter through the IDE channel that is way larger than IDE should be able to manage to do. And I have theories on how to do it. Ooh. So we'll see. We'll see if that works or not. It probably won't.
Are you going to use like what was that? There was like some program that was like it was like there was a company and I can't remember who did it, but it was basically one of those things that would like sit in the middle. It was like a LBA translator.
It was
CHS controllers.
Yeah.
Say it again. Oh yeah, drive overlay. That's right.
It's called an NBR overlay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would add code. And I've never seen those in a Mac. I've seen those in the PC. It just basically patches the BIOS to allow it to see bigger drives. But the problem here, of course, is that IDE has a literal hard limit of 137 gigs. Like there's no more address space to deal with.
Right. Yeah.
So I have some tricks. I'm
excited.
I don't know if that worked or not. I will probably be completely embarrassed, but that's part of the fun. And then I'll make funny faces at the camera and you'll all laugh at me. So that's all.
Smoke.
We're all going to laugh at you.
I want to see smoke.
No! We're all going to laugh at you.
Well, you know how Javier loves Adam Sandler. So that's
yeah.
That's a good thing to bring up. No, Ma, they're not going to laugh at me.
Oh, yes. No. But yeah, and I mean, like DOS Dude's IDE SSD would be better, and yeah. So, but yeah, I'll figure it out. Bang everything out of one pin, Joe. Yes. It's only moving at 200 kilobytes per second, but it works. But yeah, that's kind of my Marcintosh plan. Other stuff going on in Joe land. I don't know. I've got a Naboo over my right shoulder down there that I need to do something with eventually. It's been there for 2 months.
Naboo.
I think I did that before Christmas.
Naboo.
Yeah, I saw those stickers. Those stickers are cool.
They're gonna be out for everybody. I was just early adopter.
Oh yeah, are those the ones Sean made? Those are the ones Sean made. Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Where are those available? Can we get them yet?
Sean.
Not
just Google Sean and you'll find him.
Yeah.
If he's watching.
Geek with social skills.
Geek with social skills.
Yeah, his new stickers are nice because the old ones look like they were printed on like a DeskJet 500.
Hold on, I think I have one of those back there.
Yep.
Now, the other thing I in Joe land is I'm trying to organize my space back here.
Good luck.
Those of you who have been here, Ron, will know, but it's a freaking mess.
I stepped on many things at Joe's house.
Yes, I'm still finding broken bits of Spindler plastic on the floor here. So, yeah, I'm trying to there's a box up right there that's just full of family tree maker crap that somebody gave me.
Yeah.
And I need to find the time to go through it to see if it's been archived on archive.org or something. And if it's not, or Macintosh Garden, if it's not, it needs to go away. A lot of family tree maker magazines and things. It's I'm keeping it because I don't like throwing stuff away, but also I have no attachment to that box at all.
Right.
And what its contents. It means nothing to me personally. So if there's anybody out there who wants that box,
a family tree maker stuff.
Yeah, tell
No one
me,
does, Joe. No
and
one.
we'll
No
get
one.
it to you.
No
I've been
one,
looking for
Joe.
somebody who wants that box for like 10 years.
No one wants it, Joe.
You know, and just all that stuff. So just trying to find ways to reorganize the space
Old
mostly.
Fernand's.
What?
The old Fernand's wants it.
The old
The old-
furnace?
Fernand's, yeah.
Okay.
You can get it.
But yeah, it is what it is. Just tons and tons of stuff. I'm doing stuff for Mac Effects. That's what I wanted to do. One of these boards down here that I got in for repair is a Mac, I think. And I think that would make a cool live stream for Merchantosh as well.
I agree,
I also have an
Joe.
Apple III board to work on. So, what?
I agree, Joe. It'll make
Yes.
a cool video.
Yes. So yeah, those are things that I want to do. I've got the FujiNet board. They sent me a test board. The FujiNet guys just sent me a board. I wanted to play around with it, get an idea of what the process works. And if I get time, this needs a redesign for the
Thank
Apple.
you.
It's functional. It really is an awesome project, but the Apple II version of this, the official version is meh. It's kind of meh. So I want to redesign it physically, you know, so it works better. I would love to take this and combine it with the soft not the soft SP, but like the grappler design that it just uses that ROM, and convert it to a card that actually just slots into the Apple II, so it's all in one unit. I think that would be cool. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that though. You know, I've got other reverse engineering projects I'm working on. I'm also working on a static RAM card for the Apple III, because the Apple III has all of that 4164 RAM that likes to implode and connect 5 volts to ground.
Nice.
And bad things happen. So, you know, just imagine converting, you know, you've got this 64 chip board or 32 chips or whatever, and converting that to a single static RAM chip that runs super cool and greatly improve the reliability of the old Apple IIIs. I have a lot of the documentation kind of figured out on how to do it. I just have to actually do it.
Joe, when you said FujiNet, you said FujiNet for Mac, FujiNet for Apple II.
I meant FujiNet for Apple II. Yeah. FujiNet for Apple II. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So these are things that are in Joe space. So yeah. Yep. And that's all I got for tonight until I think of something else again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see where DOS Dude won? Like all his like he now has all his SSD, like IDE SSDs out there on his website or his eStore now. You can buy them. He's got 128s and 256s out there, and he'll make 64s on request. And there's now cases that are also available and with a serial number and everything like that for tracking for like actual, like I guess, service after the sale. So that's definitely worth checking out too. But something else that he's doing is that he fixed the BIOS. So now that modified BIOS for those SATA controllers now works on more cards than it ever has. Nice. So you should definitely check out his channel and read some of that too. So that is a cool Merchantosh thing going on right now.
Do we have a link to his store? I'm not finding it off the top of my head.
Hold on one second. I can tell you it is. I'm sure somebody in chat will get it faster than I will, but hold on. It is.
I mean, I found his website,
DOS Lab Electronics. DOSLabElectronics.com. Cool. And that's got all his fun stuff out there. And he also has a ZIF version where if you for some reason had like a device that used ZIF. So I know that some of the there are some like small micro notebooks and things like that that use all that. So it might be worth checking out.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome sauce.
Because somebody just the other day, because actually I tagged you in something, because I put a thing out a long time ago where it was basically like, hey, you know that 100 series PowerBook that's been just rotting in your basement, a project you're never going to finish? Send it to me because I want it. Just send it to me. Just do it. And so somebody reached out and actually said and asked a question. It turns out that they have a PowerBook 150, which is uses IDE. And so I was like, oh, head on over there and get one of those DOS Dude modern replacements.
I
And
love how
that'll
the more
probably-
info button doesn't do anything. That's great.
You've got as much info as you need, Joe.
He has the 1.8 inch ZIF.
Mhm.
I've got a bunch of HP laptops that have 1.8 inch IDE
There you go.
or SATA drive. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not the same, I don't think. The connector is different.
Do you want to connect? Do you want dial-up internet? He provides dial-up internet.
He does. He does everything. He does a little bit of everything. Actually, there's a lot of people that are going to be at VCF East next month that are doing like cool things like RetroTech Chris, and I know that
I'm gonna try to be there.
Steve
I'm
has a
gonna try.
table. Joe keeps saying that he's going to be there, and then he's not going to be there,
keep
and I'm
getting
going to call
feedback
him.
from my better 7/8s telling me not to go. So
Well, then don't go, Joe. I don't
I
want to
tend
create.
to listen
I don't-
to their requests. So.
I don't want to create static at home. But Javier will be there. I will be there. I heard that Ryan is going to be there.
I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in Midwest, not East. Sorry.
Oh, you're not going to go to East at all.
Sorry.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, by the way, did you tell the people about that website that we found for Apple the System 7?
No, you can tell them since you told me about it. You tell them. About
Yeah, tell us about that. You
All right.
talked about
So, there's a website called Infinite Mac, and it's called system7.app. If you type that, if you can type it also into the system7.app. So it's like a System 7 Macintosh working. It's an emulator working online.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it has a lot of software, and I think you can download, isn't it?
You
Ron?
can. Yes,
So-
I've been doing that the entire time we've been talking.
So, a lot of cool stuff installed.
Yep.
And you can use it, you can play with it, and at the same time you can get it. So it's a good place to get programs if you want to put in your vintage Mac.
It's pretty neat, actually. If you go out, they've got system7.app, they have system6.app, and then they have system9.app.
Oh,
And so you can kind of play around and you can emulate the Mac operating system, and then there's like tons of like games and stuff that are just like games and productivity apps and development tools and stuff like that you get out there and just play around with. So if you were like, hey, I want to make a Marcintosh video, and I don't want to set up Basilisk 2, I don't want to set up Sheep Shaver, I don't understand how that stuff works, but you can absolutely go out there to system7.app or system6.app or system9.app, and you can run like an emulated Mac. I mean, it's just right there, and there's tons of games and tons of apps, and you can play around and do fun things. And then there's also, like Javier was saying, you can download things, you can get things out of the system, and then you can also upload things to the system. So that way, if you were to go out to Macintosh Garden or something and download it, like there was like, oh my gosh, I remember playing The Incredible Machine or something, or I had this very specific thing I wanted to show everybody in this productivity app or something like that. Yeah, you can just upload it out there and then just emulate it, and then record your video and upload it online. Share it with other people.
Yeah.
Or KidPix. KidPix is just building a thing. Do like an amazing KidPix picture and post it on Twitter. I want to see it.
Dude, that'd be great. Yeah. Dude, that's perfect shorts are just short form material right there. You caption your screen, you go to that website, you do something cool on it, you're like, hey, look, I Mac'd.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yep.
Speaking of Macintoshes, I have just finalized the pickup of something like 15 old Macs on Tuesday.
Ooh.
Oh, is this that one guy? Okay, great.
Yep. He had like 5 or 6 other things he hadn't listed. That I got
Nice. Well, and that's why I was asking you, Joe, because I was like, Joe, how far away are you from wherever? And I know you don't like to travel, and it's okay. I'm not saying that makes anything wrong with you or anything that I would hold against you on a personal level. But I'm glad I turned it over to you.
Yes.
That I was like, hey, somebody's got to go get this stuff. And I'm glad that it motivated you to go do that.
Yeah. And he's going to make it a little easier for me. He's going to come. Exactly. That's exactly. He's going to come an hour closer to me. So it's going to make
that's great.
a lot less painless.
So can we ask what it is, or is it going to be a video?
I'm going to make Marchtosh content out of that. I'm going to be record bits and pieces and stop by there and make. Of course, I'm going to ask the gentleman his permission if I can record the stuff and
just like you did with
rescue. And of course, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to come to BCF East is because most of the stuff I don't personally want or need. I want to get it back out to the community, and I would love to bring it there on to the consignment table and kind of just sort of give it away, or maybe like put $5 or $10 on them or something and just get them out. There's a couple pieces I want, and there's one thing I'm getting for Ron in that collection, but a lot like there's just a Mac.
I didn't remember what it was. What was it?
It's a 2CX or 2CI or 2CL
right.
or 2SEX 23BC Excelsior class. I don't know.
Something.
Sexy beast.
2
Mac
ABCD
Sexy Beast.
KLM and OP QRST.
I think that's the Mac SE. That's the Mac Sex.
Yeah.
If they were, because it was, if you were going to keep because it was when you went to the 030, that meant they got an X on your product name. So there was the Mac 2, the Mac 2X, 2FX. So the Mac SE should have been the Sex. Just saying. These are Apple's own rules, man. I didn't make it up.
Hey, at least they had the forethought ahead of time to not actually do some stupid marketing like that. I had a thought of some bad marketing of theirs in the past, and I lost it. Anyway, so yeah,
the clone program. Yeah. You're right, Joe. That was bad. I hope all the people that came up with that are fired.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to be a cool thing. But that's kind of the argument right now is like, I really would like this stuff to not be sitting in my basement where I have no room.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I really don't need it. I'm just trying to save it.
Joe, I think you do need it. I think you do.
Ooh, you need it, Joe.
This is the worst support group I've ever been to.
I need my domestic harmony more than I need those computers.
Like when your getting them anyway, sponsor says, "Hey, just meet me at the bar. We'll talk this over."
It'll be fine.
Save them all, Joe.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, we will work this out.
So yeah, that's what's going on in your world. Yep. Cool. Silence.
No, nothing. Sorry.
Anybody got anything else? Any questions from the whatever? Somebody had actually. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack's got a question. I don't know. Can anybody answer that question?
What's the question? Let's see.
It's on the text screen.
Please confirm or deny that I can install a PCI X SCSI card from a Dell in my Quick Server. No, you will not be able to, unless you do what you said in the second part of the thing, which is flash the controller with the Macintosh BIOS. If you do that, you'll be good to go. But a 64-bit, hold on one second. It's almost like we had a little bit of synergy here. But a 64-bit, like a PCI X card will absolutely work. You should be able to just plug it in, even into a 32-bit slot. It should work just fine. Just make sure your card has the Mac version of the BIOS on it, and you'll be just fine. If you intend to boot from it. It is entirely in the realm of possibility that on certain versions, like System 9 or something like that, you might be able to plug it in and have it see it, but it may not be bootable. I don't know. Sean from Action Retro, or as I call him, Action, should be able to answer that question for you.
Action Jackson.
You're on a first name basis, aren't you?
We're on a first name basis. Sean from Action Retro. Just call him Action.
Action. It's his first name.
I can't confirm. I used a 2940U from from the PC world, and it did not work. So probably needed it needed some BIOS formatted doodles, flashy doodles. But yeah, and of course now you can't find it. So it's like, all right, well.
Gig with social skills. We were talking about you a few minutes ago.
Yes, your stickers. Send me your Naboo stickers, and I will shove dollars at you.
Because everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that needs to be on the back of one of my local police cars.
That's right.
You keep saying that you're going to put one of me on there, don't you?
Oh yes, don't worry, it'll happen.
God no. Pictures
Gotta
or
wait
it
for the
didn't
appropriate
happen.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need evidence that you've done it, so that
Oh,
I
there'll be
can then
photos.
like send it to the local police department. I'll be like, I know who did this. I'd
You
rather
do
be
this.
questioned.
You should put this one in the back of a police car.
It's a little more conspicuous.
I'd rather.
Here's
be
what-
rich
I should put
than
this on my. I should just like stick this little guy on my on my rear wiper.
Yes.
Anyway. Yes.
I have to get some googly eyes for mine.
Yes.
I'll visit the
And,
kindergarten tomorrow.
I was going to ask a question about 3D printing. I don't remember what it is now.
What are you 3D printing right now? I'm sure it's going.
Nothing.
What?
I'm all caught up.
I can send you stuff to print 3D print.
I'm sure you
Love the
can.
3D printer, yeah.
Okay, so everybody in the chat, you can just send your 3D print stuff to Joe, and he will print it and ship it back to you for free.
No.
That's what I heard.
No,
That's what
no.
I
That's what I
heard
heard.
too.
No.
That is the rumor I've been starting.
It's a thing of beauty. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Javier's case is a thing of beauty. Yes.
I wouldn't know. I got the crappy first gen.
Well,
Hey, that one was that case was designed by K
Really
Koba.
good.
That's a really good case too.
really good.
The Gen 1 case was really good.
Are you
This
taking
Gen 2
orders again?
case, it needs a little
Joe?
adapted. What's that?
Are you taking orders again?
I will be taking orders once I get my current orders caught up, which is just one more order to get out, and then I will add some more stuff. So yeah, Joe, can you be PCBWay's pricing for the exact same levels? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't freaking know. I don't know what they charge, and I don't care. I'm not setting up a build farm. I'm not doing that. That's not happening. I don't have the attention span required to build that correctly to make it cost effective. What? What's going on over there?
Put your 3D printer out on the internet with no support or help or protection, and just let whatever gets sent to it print.
Why not?
That
I can
sounds
just
fine.
see all of
peanuts.
the standard 8-inch long measuring devices that ended up coming out of that printer. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh yeah, it's
I
man.
think how fast they'll print.
Joe's better half will come downstairs. Hey, what is the deal with this printer? It all it prints is eggplants these days. What's the deal with that? Joe, you're out of aubergine colored filament.
Yeah. Banana for scale. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I'll just call it. And then here, I'll put that, and I'll put that on the internet 24/7, 365, and just call it Banana Cam.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. It just the
No,
whole thing's
we're not
blurred.
doing that.
It's just blurred. Yeah.
It's
It's just a blur. You can't do anything about it.
That's funny.
oh, that's great. Yes, excellent.
So did you find filament after that was matte colored, beige that you were looking for?
We have them.
There are a couple really good filaments. The first step was, and I worked with Javier on this. He put me onto this device. This thing right here, this color sensor.
Oh, yeah.
And so I found a good sample from the inside of my Color Classic that was perfectly pristine. And I took like 10 different samples from different spots and averaged them together. And I threw it on the internet. I threw the RGB code on the internet. And I found a standard color pattern that was very similar to that. It's very similar to Pantone Color 400. But getting anything Pantone colored is like not impossible. But it's also extremely close to, just like, well, nobody will make it in Pantone because nobody wants to pay the Pantone licensing fee to do things.
Correct.
Have you watched Linus's videos on his Pantone purchases?
Yeah.
He spent a lot of money on a bunch of plastic chips. A
Yeah.
lot of money.
Not worth it.
Yeah. I have a color matching Pantone 400 just for the testing that, and it was like $25 for a 1-inch by 1-inch square plastic.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Not worth it nowadays.
But we were able to find the proper color code in the European standard, which of course is just wide open because Europe is awesome, it's called RAL 7044. Right, and so we found that color code, and it is slightly not as good, not as close as the Pantone color, but it is so gosh darn close. You have to be like here to really tell the difference. And so we found a provider on the internet called ColorFab that makes RAL color coded filament. And so if you want a perfect spot on just match, you get ColorFab RAL 7044. Be ready to pay exorbitant costs. There's something like 4 times as expensive as standard filament, but on the grand scheme, it's still not that expensive, compared to going out on eBay and like finding some. What's that?
Like $100 a roll.
100, 125. Yeah, they're kind of expensive, and half of that's shipping because they're in the Netherlands. So they're like, we're going to charge you money. If you're in Europe, it's a lot cheaper, obviously, but here in the States, we've got to pay, the diesel boat tax, so to speak.
Yeah.
Don't get 4077.
Mash.
And then
oh yeah, okay.
If I may, Joe,
and then you what's that?
Sorry. No, just to let you know that also I found the color on ColorFab for the Apple IIc.
Ah, cool. So the lighter color, the closer to the Snow White.
Snow White,
stuff. Yeah. So that's cool. So, and I mean, that's the cool thing about having those RAL color codes is you can get things really, really close. There is who's it? Polymaker? Polymaker,
yes.
Makes they worked with Kate of Macintosh Librarian Kate. To get a color matched filament that is way cheaper. It's like $20 a roll. It's not quite as close, but it's $20 a roll. So I've got a roll of it in my printer right there right now. So yeah, it is what it is. So those are your kind of color matched options.
And
Snow White isn't a color. Adam, don't be pedantic. I love you, but no. Like, we know what we're talking. It's the whitish color that was used on the early part of the Snow White design language before they changed to the platinum color. That's what we're talking about. When you say that, people know what you're talking about. Adam, I love you. I didn't mean to offend you. And by saying the wrong thing, like calling it Mac OS X or Mac OS X, don't ever tell that to anybody.
Or saying electronic email. Yeah. Redundantly redundant.
But anyway, we're also talking to Polymaker to do a gray for the MacBook line.
The darker kind of slightly bluish gray. It is ever so slightly blue. I scan it with this and it's like red, green, blue. It's like 51, 51, 52.
Yes.
It's just tiny.
Oh, the dark gray for the PowerBooks?
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, because I print the things in their gray and it's not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also other computers that have almost the same color, like the Sinclair. Whoops.
Nick card.
The Sinclair
ATM machine
is kind of grayish, almost gray. So that's another one that would be benefit.
Yes.
I'm excited to get my X1 carbon printer.
Yes.
Oh man, I hate you.
Yes.
Well, it's not mine. We're buying it for the school.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Throw your own filament in it.
Yeah.
Throw your own
The whole
filament in
IT
it.
budget went to filament this year.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I thinking? Those printers are really easy to use for people to use. It's super awesome. I see them being very helpful in the education space because they're brain dead simple.
Right now, we have to recalibrate our Ender printers every time we print.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
It is a painful process.
It's like a Linux machine. You got to be
It's like,
No, way worse.
or worse.
worse.
I have to recompile the kernel again. I did that at 8 this
Every
morning.
time I turn it on, recompile the kernel.
It's
Almost.
building your
Well,
own
I couldn't
distribution.
exit VI. Better wipe the drive and start over.
Actually, on that note, when I first started using Linux back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I had a WIN modem, a dial-up WIN modem, And
Ooh,
so I
nice.
would actually download. I had the ISO on a CD. I would install Linux. I would try to get my Win modem working. When that didn't work, I'd go in and reinstall Windows, do some Googling back in the day, or Alt Vistain back in the day.
Yeah.
Try the
Yahooing.
reinstall Linux, try to get the Win modem working, realize it wouldn't work, reinstall Windows. Yeah, it's definitely easier now.
Yes. Indeed.
Thank God for virtualization.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool.
Computers, they're a nightmare. But they keep me employed.
But
Yep.
we love them anyway. I hate you, but I love you.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're getting to that point of the show where we wrap up things and tell everybody where they can find our things and stuff like that. We will start with you, Ryan. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, what you're doing, and all of that stuff? Go.
You can find me personally on bitbang.social, just Ryan Hayward. You can find my automotive YouTube channel up here at Everything's Broken Garage on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram as well. Again, most of it automotive, but sometimes there's a random bit of retro tech thrown in there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some Marcintosh stuff, especially with my students. And I look forward to keep progressing in this this lovely hobby that seems to be turning into an addiction.
Yes.
Over to you, Ron.
Oh, hi, I'm Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. You can find me at ronscompvids.com. That's got links to everything. Again, I'll relinquish the rest of my time to just reminding people to please support the Kansas Fest fundraiser that's going on right now. Joe might be able to throw the link back up there at some point, I guess. But in any case, please give that your careful consideration. Thank you.
Hi,
And also Javier every week. He looks more like a GeoCities page. I don't know what the deal is.
Well,
where's Dancing Jesus?
not yet.
That baby.
It's the
Where's the Ally
Dancing
McNeil baby?
There you
Right,
go.
yeah.
Now it is. Now I am. Why? Because I'm tacky. Oh yeah. Anyway, Habmaster, you can find me on the YouTubes. You can find me on Twitter, where people hate me because I say that your printer was better than mine, and they get all pissed. Mastodon, there you go, BitBang, and support me on Ko-fi or Patreon. Actually, I got more patrons. Thank you, patrons, and they're actually downloading a lot of 3D STLs that I created. Thank you. They're yours for that. And 8-bit tees. You know what I'm talking about? 8-bit tees, the best. They're the only one. The greatest t-shirt store on the interwebs.
Except for jcm-1.com.
No, mine. Anyway, I got a nice WAS mug that I just designed.
Dude, that mug is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go there, be there, or be square. Back to you.
Are we square? Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Strohsnyder of Joe's Computer Museum in wonderful, sunny Central Ohio. I do weird things on the internet, like hang out with these guys many, many times a week, and do live streams, occasionally do a video here and there on the YouTubes. I also do a lot of things like being part of the Blue Scuzzy community, being a source where you can get your old Macs working again, or being the one who makes those little keyboard encoders for the Apple II series computers and Apple III series computers, so your Apple IIs can live forever. Apple II forever. You can follow me down here at Museum Joe at Old Byte Spot Space. You can find me on YouTube at Joe's Computer Museum. You can find me on the Hellscape, on Twitter at Museum Joe. If you want to support what I'm doing, two big ways that you can do that. Number one, you can become a patron Joe's Computer Museum right down here. And for as little as $1 a month, you can hang out with us in the Discord. And when you're in the Discord, you get to talk to me personally, all the other really, really cool patrons that are there, a few weirdos that I let in for reasons like Ron.
That scans.
Yeah, that's good. No, but seriously, the cool thing is one of the biggest things you get is that I will post links to my streams sometimes, and I let my patrons hang out with me on my live streams. So that is a really cool thing that you can get. And then finally, jcm-1.com, where you can get all these cool toys and better shirts than Javier's, because I'm not a graphic designer, which means mine look cooler.
That's right.
I don't know.
I gotta accept that. I gotta accept that.
So, yep, that's it.
Great.
Well, this has been a super awesome stream tonight. I want to thank Ryan, our guest, for being on today. Again, make sure you catch up to all of his cool medias. He's in a lot of our live streams too. So if you watch any of us, you're going to find him. He's on Dave's stream. Dave's Vintage Apple Tech streams pretty frequently as well. So make sure you catch him. Again, thank you to everybody in our chat for stopping by and watching our show tonight. You are the reason why we do this. We'd like to share our cool stuff that we are doing with you, so that everybody can be continuously, encouraged to keep these old retro computers alive. We will be on again in 2 weeks, whenever that is. That's like March 19th-ish or some number like that. We have some really cool plans in the works that aren't quite finalized yet, but if those come to fruition, you're gonna love our next show for March.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. Earl Schrott. No, okay.
Right.
And confirm.
Yeah, I guarantee it. Yeah, so remember to smash that like button, or like we like to say, lasso that like button, or spur that subscribe button, and do all the YouTube-y things, because that makes sure that YouTube will show our content to people that watch other content.
Ring the dinner bell.
Ring the dinner triangle. Yeah, there you go. Yes, because then YouTube will then start showing our stuff to people that watch other stuff like you watch, and then that helps. Yep, it helps spread our reach and get more cool, awesome people into our little community. So we love that. Again, thank you all for stopping by. Thanks, Ryan, for being our guest tonight, and have a good evening, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.